Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the very next remedy with Tova Sido and
Janice Gaunt.
And Tom Bridwell.
Woo woo! Well, it's been a long time.
It feels like it, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, well, we recorded a long time ago.
We did.
We've all had lots of fun adventures since then, too. Betty got back from camp. You went and played Colorado.
I went to Spoon concert
in Park City.
And Tova went to Greece.
I went to Greece, and I took George and Carter to school. Cried like a baby yesterday.
I know. Then when you got home, how did it feel? Were you sad or were you...
I was so sad saying goodbye. I was so sad on the drive to the airport. I was so sad on the plane. And then by the time I got home, I was so tired. Mm-hmm. But I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I was pretty sad, thinking George isn't in his room. And we're also moving right now.
It's a lot. You have a lot of memories in that house.
How much less laundry you're about to be doing.
Oh, I'm going to do no laundry.
Exactly.
I'll wash my sheets once a week and maybe a underwear or two every once in a while. No, it's good.
When you wear underwear?
Exactly. That's why I said every once in a while. Did you just giggle, Tom?
Yeah, that was that one.
I heard a little
I was like a dog
joke.
that just saw a squirrel. I was like, what?
That's what Buddy does. Buddy looks at those squirrels, so looks at them, and then takes off towards them.
I love watching dogs go after squirrels. I think it's the cutest thing in the world.
It's like, what do you think you're going to do? Catch them?
Has Buddy ever caught one?
No.
One time I was taking a nap on my couch, and this is when I had a Weimaraner, and our Weimaraners had a doggy door, and I was sound asleep on a Sunday afternoon on my couch, and my Weimaraner came in and was standing right in front of me with a dead squirrel in his mouth.
No.
Like,
what, did he kill it or did he find a dead one?
No, he killed it. He hunted it. I mean, they're pretty good hunters. And he was sitting there with the squirrel in his mouth, looking at me, like waiting for me to wake up because he was so proud.
Either say, good boy.
Yeah. And he was like,
oh my gosh.
I absolutely freaked out.
Oh my God. It kind of makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
I know.
I'm glad I don't have to be a dog.
No. I mean, their instincts are unbelievable.
I know.
Okay, I giggled at what Janice just said about our topic today. We're talking about 7 signs that you've become roommates from a couples therapist. And she goes, uh-oh. I hope we don't learn anything here.
I hope this isn't bad news. I probably won't be honest.
I lie since Tom listens.
Tom listens. He's like, is there something you need to tell me?
No, there's nothing we need to tell you.
No. And
she would have already told you.
I would never want to be divorced from Tom. And I hope he feels the same way about me.
There's no doubt.
I don't know. I can be a little high maintenance.
Well, can't we all?
Yeah.
We all. Yeah. I mean, don't you think he can too sometimes?
He's not very high maintenance. I mean,
he's not in any way high maintenance.
Well,
I feel like we're all so spoiled. There's a little bit of it in all of us.
He doesn't like buy real expensive clothes. I mean, he likes good shoes but not, $1,200 shoes or anything like that. And
I mean, I know he's not bratty at all.
Not at all.
But I think we're all a little bit spoiled.
Well, yeah, it's all relative, right?
I mean, I think we live pretty spoiled.
Well, we do. I mean, we do. All of us are really blessed to be able to do what we want to do when we want to do it for the most part. you know?
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
yeah.
Okay, so hopefully there's no bad news here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a feeling that somebody listening is going to get some bad news today.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So our heart does go out to you.
Yeah.
If 1 or 2 or 3 or
And you
7
may-
of these signs.
Yeah. You may just be content being roommates,
Yeah.
you know?
Have you counseled couples like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they don't want to get divorced.
They don't want to get divorced, but they don't necessarily want to
Need to be crazy in love?
Probably some of this, like if it's they're not having sex or whatever, it might be an indicator of that. But I don't know. We'll see how this is.
I could never become a roommate with my partner. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe when I'm like 85 and
yeah,
you
well,
know?
that's around the corner for me.
or 90, then we could be
100.
But I don't know. I think I always just kind of want to have those like happy couple feelings.
Well, yeah, I think you want.
Do you?
But yeah. I mean, I have those. I mean, yes, I'm very attracted to Tom, but
Yeah.
but I do think after people have been married for a fairly long time, sometimes there are things that we'll talk about this because some of it is just going to happen.
Attrition.
Yeah, I mean, you are just about to get married, so this is all new for you. Whereas how long have you been married, Tom?
11 years.
Yeah, and see, Tom and I've been married like, let's see, probably
Oh, you just had an anniversary, didn't you? a
yeah,
little while
16
ago?
years.
I mean, that's good.
That's a long time.
How long were you married? Your first marriage?
Like 22 years
Wow.
or something like that. Maybe
That's a long time.
I can't remember how old I was when I got a divorce.
I feel like you were like right about the same age as me when I got
Probably.
divorced.
When were you? How old were you when you got a divorce?
43?
Yeah, that's probably about when I did too.
I think I was 43. It was almost 9 years ago, and I'm 53.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you were single 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I get married, it will be 9 or 10 years.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Which I think is a good amount.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to, for me, I was not just, chomping at the bits to get married again. And it was really important for me to be able to date some people that, there were some people that were really fun, and then there were some people who were really weird, and, so it's interesting.
It's all part of it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so 7 signs that you've become roommates from a couples therapist. You want to take the first one?
Oh, look at this. It says, this challenge will lead you moving to your partner's side of the couch so you can share a moment together. Okay, now I got to go. So how does it come up to all of it?
Oh, you just slide to the right.
Oh, there it is. Wait.
So
Hold
are you
on.
seeing this?
Hold on just
Tom,
a second.
Tom, edit this part out.
Okay, yes, I do see this.
So then can you swipe?
Wait, but it doesn't go. It doesn't go.
There's like these little arrows on the right side of the screen and the left side, and you can press them.
Oh, there they are. No, it's on the right.
Yeah. And it slides
This
the
is
page
so
over.
weird. Can you stop? Were you recording?
Yeah, but he can edit this part out.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go.
Did you figure it out?
No, yeah, I finally got it. There was something that kept popping up on my own photo thing. Okay, yeah.
So the first one says what?
your conversations revolve around surface level things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you got it?
Got it.
Okay, you read the first one, Janice.
Okay. Your conversations revolve around surface level things. Default discussions focus on logistical issues such as house, chores, work issues, and kids' activities. Deeper conversations are avoided at the expense of meeting everyone else's needs, and you rarely dig into your thoughts, wishes, feelings, and needs.
I mean, I think this is a very easy trap to get into.
Yeah.
When you've been married and now you have 2.5 kids and you're both working full time or one of you's working. I mean, you just kind of ask the same questions, you know?
Yeah.
What do you have going on today?
Yeah.
How'd you sleep?
Yeah.
How did work go today?
Yeah. You know, I've had Tom works from home and he runs his company, and it's not an easy job. And so I've tried to be real attentive of saying, so how are you feeling about your job? Are you having some fun with it? You know, so that he will kind of go deep into that with me. And then it's so important for me because then I can approach, you know, I understand more about why he sits right there in front of that computer and is calling all the people that are working for him, they're trying to raise money, so they're doing all of this stuff, and it's stressful.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that this is important.
Yeah. Asking questions that go below the surface. And I think it's so easy to get into that trap of, especially when you're blowing and going. And
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when our kids were little and you're kind of surviving.
Yeah. Yeah, you really
And
are.
you really don't want to get into a deep discussion about how you feel about something. You've just put the 3 kids down. You've just sat down for the first time at night. And so having that real meaningful conversation that connects you is kind of hard. That's why I think date night, and like you encourage couples to go on quarterly trips, even if it's just to the Four Seasons down the street. Just getting out of your zip code and leaving your life, your kids, your schedule behind and reconnecting.
Yeah, it really is important.
Are you good at this, Tom?
You know, it's funny. I feel like all of these, I'm going to be like, check. Because sometimes I do feel like we are more roommates than a couple. I mean, I just think we're right in the thick of it with Betty, and this one right here is a good example. I'm not saying we never talk about our feelings and dig into deeper things, because we absolutely do, but I feel like most of our discussions focus on logistics.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is where we are in our life.
Yeah. So next one, physical and emotional intimacy have taken a back seat. You stop turning towards one another. The things that used to be automatic, like reaching for the other's hand, a good morning kiss, are dropped, and you feel the lack of affection. The frequency and desire for, what is that word?
That's the way that she can put sex in without getting blocked.
Oh, it's so interesting.
I'm like,
it's
what
S3XX.
Yeah, you have to type it like that, because if you put in the actual word, then there's a chance that it will be
Thought
age
is
restricted
porn.
or something.
Never knew this.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Okay, so the frequency and desire for sex seems all but lost.
Yeah. Well,
I see that a lot in couples.
There's no doubt that your sex life is going to change. When you've been married for a long time, I mean, when you are dating or you're engaged to get married and you just can't get enough, and it's like, you know, Patty porn star, and it's like so fun, and you know, and everything. I mean, it's just different. It just changes.
It is going to change.
And I do think that it is, if you are talking about your sex life, then that is emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Of course.
You know, and if you're not getting what you want or getting enough of what you want, then it's really important that you verbalize that to your partner, as far as, you know, can we discuss this and what can we do to get that fire back and that sexual energy. You know,
I encourage. I mean, I've talked about this on my podcast before, on our podcast before. But sorry,
it's okay. It's really
I'm talking
yours.
to you.
It's all you're responsible.
No, but you know,
No.
when I'm out in the world, I say but our podcast. One of the things that I do in the premarital counseling is talk about the different kinds of intimacies we can experience in our relationship: sexual, physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual. And then I always add financial, because I think that's really important too. And so we talk about the expectations and non-negotiables around those topics. But one of the things that I really encourage the couples to do, and I mean, chances are 1% of the couples that when we're done doing the premarital probably goes on to do this, but I really do encourage them to do monthly, at least a monthly check-in for how are we doing with emotional intimacy, spiritual intimacy, sexual intimacy, physical intimacy. Because I think oftentimes, and I know we've all seen this, we have these thoughts in our marriage or in our relationship, like, God, I wish I got a little bit more of that, or I wish we experienced more of that, or I wish we shared more of that. But rarely does it just come out on a random Tuesday night, like, God, I'm really missing our emotional connection. You know, it usually or sometimes can come up in a fight or in conflict. Well, we never have sex anymore, you know, and well, so I look at these check-ins as an opportunity to say, how are we doing? God, we're kind of getting away from having sex. Like, we haven't had sex in a while.
Well, and the thing about it is that intimacy, I love saying, into me you see, and into you I see. So when you do have these discussions, or if there's something you're wanting that you haven't asked for, and that's very important that you ask for what you want, ask for what you want, so that you can, you know, because it's not like our purpose is to make sure everybody's happy, because then you're going to do people pleasing. So that's why it's so important. If you're not experiencing something that you want more of, then you need to put words to it. It's nobody else's job to figure it out for you. You got to ask for what you want.
Otherwise, you're just going to have growing resentment about what you feel like you deserve or what you do want in a relationship, but you're not getting.
Yeah.
How is that person supposed to know?
Yeah. Well, we're not supposed to be able to read minds.
Yeah. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, not kidding.
But I think that I like this one because, of course, sex is going to change. Sex is going to change in your relationship.
Yeah, it is.
And so I think that having a realistic expectation around the fact that it's going to change, but also working really hard to continue to create intimate moments and sexual and physical intimacy in your relationship. You have to, you're the one who has to keep it alive. All right, Tom, tackle the next one.
You both default to just doing your own thing. It becomes easier to just numb out on your phone or turn to a friend instead of reaching for your partner. There is an overemphasis of free time on individual activities. If you have hobbies together, there is a lack of interest and they are not prioritized.
Wait a minute. If you have hobbies together, there's a lack of interest and they're not what does that
Well,
mean?
it says there's an overemphasis of free time on individual activities, whereas
you know, this is something that we do, but I don't really think of it as like a bad thing. But like when we get into our bed at night, we've got like a couple of hours of just watching TV. We lately have just been watching our own shows because she's into like Bridgerton and stupid girly stuff. And I'm into equally dumb boy stuff.
Men stuff.
And so we just sort of turn over. She watches the TV with her headphones and I watch my iPad with my headphones. But we're laying next to each other. We're usually like kind of playing footsie just subconsciously we're like touching, but it's not intimate, you know?
Yeah.
It's just kind of,
But
but
I
we're
also
together.
I think if it works for you,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and you
that's
like
what
it,
I
that's
think.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it matters. Look, nobody is going to want to be chatting it up for
Yeah.
3 hours at night about everything. Oh, well, did you see what that guy just did, or whatever, blah 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 blah. You know, and I mean, Tom and I've enjoyed a lot watching the Olympics during
Yeah.
all of this. I was thinking today, gosh, what am I going to watch on TV? You know, but
Olympics are fun.
But so I think
This was a great year for the Olympics.
wasn't it?
Yes.
It was amazing. It really was.
I love Summer Olympics.
Yeah. So I just think that it is, you know, you don't have to do, what I want to make sure people do not think when they listen to this that they've got to do every single thing with their partner, because
No.
you don't.
No.
As a matter of fact, I think
individual activities is healthy.
well, we are still individuals when we are in a relationship, whether it's marriage or serious dating or whatever. So it is okay if you have that ability in your relationship to negotiate. Hey, I'm going to go have dinner with my friends tonight, or is that cool with you? Do you have anything? Or, you know, if, you know,
Totally.
just so it's
yeah.
about a drive-by.
Yes.
And being able to live your own life independently within a coupleship.
Yep. I think the balance of that is really important. I think if you're always with your friends, then you should probably take a look at that. Or you're always going out without your spouse, or you're in and you don't enjoy doing things
Going
with,
to all the bars by
then
yourself.
Maybe take a look at that. But
Yeah, you might want to.
But I feel like Craig and I have the perfect balance of apart, individual, and together. And we love doing a ton together. And he goes and plays golf with his buddies, and he goes to Ranger games, and he goes on golf trips and fishing trips, and he takes his boys places. And
Yeah, that's how
and
you
I
want to do it.
Same with my sage.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the balance is really important, and the balance is whatever works for you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's the balance is you can identify that you're in a balanced place about that because you're not feeling hurt or angry.
Yes.
And if that is a feeling with either one of you, then it is worth looking at and maybe adapting to it a little.
Having a conversation about it.
And making some changes. Yeah.
If there's resentment, talk about it.
Yep.
Okay. Next one. You want that one, Janice?
Oh, sure. Hard conversations are no longer happening. You don't feel heard and feel a lack of support for your feelings and wishes. As a result, you stop sharing your inner feelings and emotions. Difficult moments get swept under the rug, and you don't have the energy to revisit them. You know, I think that the hard conversations take some real adulthood to hear it, so that you don't get defensive about somebody maybe suggesting that you do something different. You know, and I think the ability to be able to talk to your partner and that they hear you, even if it's not what you want or what you believe you need or whatever, but if you can hear one another, that's a huge step. And that's indicative of a really strong relationship.
That's a great way to say that. That's a great way to say that. I also think that, like, if something's going on and I bring it up, it's because I care. Like,
Yeah.
there's people who have annoyed me, or I mean, not a lot, but it's just not worth saying something to them.
Yeah,
You know, because
yeah.
that relationship doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
There's not a mattering that's taking place. But if I'm saying something to you or to Craig or to my brother, it's because I care. It's because the
Sure.
relationship is important enough to me and the integrity of the relationship is important enough to me that I want to fix it. Because I think it's dangerous when people stop talking about what's mattering.
Well, and I think that there are people who stop talking about it because the other person is not willing to hear it.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
And
maybe they've tried along the way.
Yeah.
Didn't get anywhere. Nothing's changing.
Yeah, so they're like,
Screw
well, why would I even bring it up if they're not going to say, well, what do you think about, whatever that is? And I think that's really important. I think that of all of the things, there are so many things about Tom that I really respect and really, really, really like and love, is that he will hear me discuss anything. And I don't think he's ever gotten defensive about anything.
That's what an unbelievable thing to say.
I know.
Wow,
I mean, he'll hear it. He may disagree with it, but there's no repercussion.
Wow.
I mean, he will hear me.
Wow.
Even if he doesn't change, whatever, if it's something that I'm asking for. Yeah, it's a really terrific trait that he has.
It's really amazing.
It is.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Go Tom.
Yeah.
That's inspirational.
Yeah.
Greg is not saying that about me.
Well, I probably listen a little more defensively than Tom does. Yeah. He just lets it in. But he manages all these people in this company, so he has to hear them.
Yeah, he has a lot
So
of
he's got a
practice.
real ability to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets a lot more practice than we do.
He does.
We get to boss people around and tell them when they're acting a fool.
Exactly.
Okay, Tom, you want the next one?
Sure. Quality time together just isn't a priority. You and your partner are no longer prioritizing meaningful time together. The priorities of others, activities, and schedules take over. Everything else comes first before the relationship.
Yeah, I think that's a slippery slope.
Yeah, and one of the things that Tom and I do that I think is helpful is that we really don't individualize our activities on the weekends, so to speak. Not during the day so much, but that the weekend nights are kind of
it's a given.
It's kind of a given that that's what we're going to go to dinner, or we're going to, even if we pick up, food and just watch a movie or whatever. It's and that I think that's important, whether it's a Wednesday night, whatever you want to do with it. But if you have some time that you prioritize that relationship and you really don't let that go unless it's, unless you're on a trip or something like that.
Yeah. I could not agree more with that.
Yeah.
And if Craig was like going out with the guys on Saturday nights, like a lot of Saturday nights, that I wouldn't feel good about that.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I would not like that.
Yeah.
I agree. I think this one's a really important one.
I do too.
Okay, the same conflicts happen over and over again, and there's no resolution. Things are left unresolved, and your negative cycle continues to happen. There is constant bickering over small things, and you seemingly aren't able to move forward. Resentment continues to build as your issues never get resolved. I don't know if it was you that told me, or I read somewhere that that couples in their first year of marriage, fast forward to year 15 of their marriage, most couples are fighting about the same damn thing.
Probably, I don't think I said that, but it's probably true.
I must have read it somewhere.
Yeah.
In year 15, couples are continuing to have the same argument about the same thing that they were fighting about in year 1 of their marriage. So I think this is an issue.
I do too.
You may get over the fight, but you don't resolve the conflict.
You haven't let that conflict go.
That's a problem.
One of the sayings in Al-Anon is let go and let God. And I think that that's a really important thing. When I first started going to Al-Anon, I I realized how much I had resentment towards my ex-husband. And you just that will eat you up.
Oh, yeah.
It'll dissolve a relationship.
Yeah, it sure will.
Yeah.
I think that my boys, when I was taking them to school, they just, I don't know what it is about dropping kids off at school. They get real sentimental. But my kids
that's sweet.
at lunch were talking about how grateful they were at how Topher and I get along, and just all the gratitude they have for the grace that we've extended one another, and we don't hold on to any anger or resentment toward one another. And Carter said the sweetest thing. He said, Mom, you and Dad have raised us apart, but you've done it together.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
And
that's really great.
Yeah. And I said, and he was like, and I don't know how you did that when you were always so kind, and so loving. And you and Dad have just always done so good together, even though you were apart.
Yeah.
And I was like, honey, I did that for you. Mm-hmm. And I did that. And I also did it for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was like, what would it gain me?
Yeah.
To let go, God,
yeah,
is so important.
It's so important.
Your health, to your psychological well-being, to your emotional well-being, to the energy that you're sharing with your children, to the energy that you're putting out in the universe. People who are holding on to stuff and just that growing bitterness and resentment, I think it's, you say it all the time, it's giving us cancer.
Yeah. And and I know I've said this before, my ex-husband comes to every family he comes to Thanksgiving and to Christmas and to birthdays, and Tom's ex-wife she's been a couple of times, but she's always invited, to where it is so much easier on my children and Tom's son.
Of course.
Because then there's no, you don't have to go to two different places for Thanksgiving, it just makes a huge, huge difference.
Yes.
And because you don't have to be in love with someone for the rest of your life, but to be kind to that person will benefit your children more than you can even describe.
Yeah, but and they feel it.
Yeah, they do.
They're paying attention to it,
Mm-hmm.
and they
it's good.
Really
it's so
appreciate
good.
it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Tom, wrap us up. Tackle this last one.
Okay, there is no more excitement, and you feel like you are coexisting as roommates.
Ew. I don't want to do that.
Me neither.
So, Tom, you said that you
are stuck in the mundane. Life is on repeat, day after day. The truth is you're bored. The spark that you once had is no longer there, and acts of spontaneity are gone.
So, Tom, before we started, you said you felt like you were afraid that you might have all of these. How do you feel about this one?
No, and then I'm surprised this wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but but I at no point was I thinking that it was my relationship is in a rut. I just think that we may have some of these traits because of where we are in our life. But, I don't feel like there is no excitement. That's just absurd. We have a pretty awesome. We're lucky. We get to do fun stuff all the time. And honestly, as I get older, the more just kind of, I don't know, there's something kind of cool about just having your life like dialed in and just. You don't have to have spontaneity all the time. Sometimes it's nice to like have a pattern and structure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, maybe we have a little bit of each of these, but it's nothing that I'm concerned about, and I'm certain that Maureen isn't either.
Look, I don't think there's any way, if you've been married for years, that you are going to have some of this. Yeah. You are not going to be like you were when you were dating.
No.
You're just not.
No.
Because you've experienced so much, and it's to value the relationship apart from the partner, that the little things that get on your nerves. I was thinking when you were reading that, Tom, that with Tom and I getting our dog, it's been really interesting because it's been something for us to do together.
That's cute.
And we both are so crazy about him, and we take turns feeding him and all of that. And it really has given us another dimension.
That's
without having to go adopt a child.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, it would not. I couldn't get them anyway. But I think anything like that can also help fuel a relationship.
A little excitement. You know, I'm sure you experienced this being divorced. So many of my girlfriends I got divorced at 17 years of marriage. I've known Topher since I was 15 years old. So he was a very big part of my life for most of my life by the time I got divorced. And even now. And so when I started dating, I could tell that a lot of my married friends were like, so tell me, like it was kind of, they were vicariously living through me doing the whole dating thing. And I sensed from them this like, not jealous, they weren't jealous, but they were like.
Kind of exciting thing.
Yeah, like, oh, you're so lucky you get that. You get to go on those first dates and those first kisses.
I don't like that. I'm so glad I don't have to do that again.
And I was looking at their life thinking, you're so damn lucky that you're still married, that you get to come home to this sweet man that loves you and you love, and you've created a home together and you have children together. And like, I wanted what they had, and they wanted what I had. and to your point, Tom, I think it's you said in so many words, like there's things that are about Maureen. I'm sure there's things about Tom like you're really used to. There's things about Craig. We've been dating for 5 years. I'm really used to. I love those things. I love that I know on Sunday morning we're going to go to yoga. We're going to come do Wordle on the porch and have our coffee. We're going to watch church, like the knowing and that old couch feeling or old blanket feeling. That's a blessing. Like, sure, you should spice it up every once in a while, and you don't want it to get boring and mundane or take it for granted.
Well, if you are feeling that way, then think about what you're wanting and make sure you're asking for it.
Yeah.
And not just having the expectation that it's supposed to just show up, because it will change.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, but what a gift. If something happened to Tom, or if he just acted the fool, I would never remarry because my marriage is so comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
not.
And
that's a great word.
And it's not being free and dating and all of that for me. I mean, it was kind of fun for a bit, but I wouldn't
to go
touch
back to
it.
that.
No.
I don't ever want to do that again.
No, me neither.
Like, I don't ever want to do that again.
No, me neither. Me neither.
So I think that's a really important reminder to people who've been in a relationship for a long time, and that comfortable is a
good.
Gift.
It's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable is good.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Contentment is an underrated word.
Yeah. Yeah.
So content.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
and if there's something that you're not content about, then talk about it. Ask for it and see what you can get.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we hope this helps you kind of, maybe if you're in a rut in your relationship, get you out of it, spark some conversation, or helps you plan a trip or
Yeah.
kind of put that candle underneath your rear end to, to light a fire and move in another direction. Hope it helps your week.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. I was like, Tom, where's our music?
That was good. I do too. I do too. I liked it.